Hello and welcome to NewsClick. We are discussing today about Mumbai, the city which at one level is seen as the face of what some people would say resurgent and globalizing India. But Mumbai has recently been in the news for entirely different reasons, and the xenophobic attacks on non-Maharashtrians by a section of political parties in Mumbai has grabbed the headlines. So we are talking with Neelabh Mishra, who is editor Outlook Hindi, who's been following some of these issues very closely. Now Neelabh, what do the recent events in Mumbai say about the cosmopolitan character of the city?
Any city becomes a metropolis, acquires cosmopolitan character because of the outsider. And Mumbai, more than any other city, underlines the worth of the outsider. It's the outsiders who built Mumbai. Take for instance even the Marathi people, they are outsiders to the Konkan coast. Marathi speaking people, it was originally inhabited by Konkani speaking people. Of course, Marathi people have built Mumbai, but so have many others. So have Parsis, so have Gujaratis with their money, so have North Indians with their labor, so have South Indians. Can you imagine even the construction sector in Mumbai being what it was without the contribution of Telugu construction workers? And if you remember, in the 1960s it was Shiv Sena, again, which made South Indians its target. So sometimes you have South Indians, sometimes you have North Indians, and all of us know that Shiv Sena was encouraged by the then Congress politicians to break the unity of the working people there in Mumbai. And how do you target the working people? How do you target the working class? Only by arousing passions around questions of identity. So it has been there. And since since 1960s right up to now, there have been attempts to break the cosmopolitan character of Mumbai, and I would say that the working class movement should also have taken note of this earlier, and they should have put a counter strategy in place to fight this.
In 60s and 70s, as you said, it was an attempt to break the unity of the working people in Mumbai. But what's the driving force today? Because Mumbai has changed and it's no more the seat of Indian industry, at least in the manufacturing sector, no more the seat of the working class. So what's driving the present phase of the violence that the Sena and its new avatar, the MNS, seem to be unleashing?
It was, like a vicious circle. First, the unity of the working people was broken. This in turn also affected, that was a long drawn out fight, and it also affected industry. And industry collapsed in Mumbai. Mumbai is no more the manufacturing city. It's a city of services, which means you have a dwindling resource base and you have to scramble for it. And this is probably providing Shiv Sena and MNS their fuel for their kind of politics.
But also, looking at something slightly different, the kind of identity politics that the Sena is promoting in Mumbai is also promoted by the BJP at a national level in a different way. But isn't there also a contradiction in the fact that the BJP and Sena today, while being part of the NDA, seem to be promoting identities of different kinds, which in the context of Mumbai seem to be actually antagonistic, in the sense that the base of the BJP and the base of the Sena seem to be antagonistic to each other? And how do they still remain in the NDA together, and what keeps them together?
Critics of identity politics, critics who have been pointing out the limits of identity politics, have always been saying that a person is born with a multiple identity. And what we see here within the NDA is a contradiction between these multiple identities. Shiv Sena is projecting an identity which is more parochial. Again, BJP, RSS are projecting an identity which seems national, but which is not actually national, which is sectional. So these two identities are in clash, and BJP now has to look forward to the elections in Bihar.
But the NDA is still together, it's not broken. Why?
It's not broken, but you never know when the contradictions will arise, and contradictions which will break the NDA. They can arise. I mean, NDA can break on both sides. Because of this, if the BJP does not put its act together, it can break in Bihar.
No,
or if it survives in Bihar, it can break in Maharashtra. Or at some later date, they might try to revive it. Look, we must keep this in mind that Shiv Sena, out of all these years of its existence, has ruled Maharashtra only for 4.5 years. And even then it does not realize the limits of identity politics.
And you think the BJP does?
BJP does, but not to that extent. And even BJP, how long has BJP been in power in the center? If you look at history, I don't think with the kind of identity politics that it has been projecting, it can again come to power in Delhi solely on its own strength. Somewhere it has to compromise.
Looking ahead, do you think there is hope for Mumbai beyond this kind of strife that seems to have become a part of the daily life of common Mumbaiites?
Well, there might be hope, but somebody has to take a stand for that hope.
And who do you think are best placed to take that stand?
I think social movements have to now come forward and play a role. A. B. The spirit of Mumbai, the cosmopolitan spirit of Mumbai, the common people of Mumbai. They have to, because I don't see politicians taking a stand. I've seen, we have heard of a friend of mine just reported that his son was beaten up in Mumbai and the mob was led by an NCP leader.
But the social movements in Mumbai have been strangely silent or inactive in this recent context that we are talking about. So are we also seeing a demise of social movements in Mumbai?
I would say a sluggishness, yes. And they have to put their act together if they have to survive. Otherwise, this tide, will not necessarily be led by Shiv Sena, might be led by the Congress for all one knows. But it will mean the demise of social movements.
Moving to something slightly different, what we are seeing in Mumbai today is not unique to Maharashtra or even India. Xenophobic attacks, for example, in South Africa, are becoming probably commoner today than ever before. And there appears to be a contradiction between this and the so-called agenda of globalization that is being pursued across the world by most country governments, which some believe lends to modernity and also to then greater tolerance of different kinds of people. So how do you see this contradiction?
Well, that stand or that projection by global capital, that globalization necessarily means modernization, is now lies in shambles. It's just not there. That connection, there is a disconnect between in that claim and the actual realities. What you have just mentioned, the realities are those. And it is because of the reaction to that process of globalization and in the absence of a well thought out strategy of progressive forces to counter this onslaught, to hold out against this onslaught. It's that lack of that strategy which has led to a reaction in directions which should not be welcome.
Would you also then agree that the Indian state, the present Congress government, both in center and in the state in Maharashtra, is captive to the same forces of globalization, and hence, even though they are in opposition to the Sena in Mumbai, are not really able to stifle the kind of events that are happening in Mumbai today?
I would say yes, because any other course would mean banking on the strength of the common people. And this will create a bulwark. Then the common people might become a bulwark against globalization, which the government stands for.
So the silence of the Congress says more than what they should be doing.
Yes, but if they are serious about their own political survival, at some point of time they will have to realize that things can't go on like this.
Just before coming to this interview, I saw the headlines on the internet that Shah Rukh Khan's movie has opened to a very big reception even in Mumbai, in the few halls that they decided to go on with. Now, is that something that shows that the Shiv Sena is not the only people who control Mumbai?
Yeah, there is hope, as you said, but the hope, somebody has to give a direction to that hope.
Thank you very much, Neelabh.